Hello, 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 and greetings, adventurers of Vyra. Welcome to Tavern Talk at the Golden Feather Tavern. We are Vertek and Chibi, keepers of this fine establishment. And the Golden Feather Tavern is open to all travelers to come and share their thoughts on the inner workings of Vyra over a nice tankard of ale, mead, hot chocolate, or any other delicious beverage of choice. So, raise your glass and pull up a chair as we delve into tonight's discussions.
Thank you, Garcia.
Yes, thank you for the resub, Grace Emily, and Ed, welcome on in. Glad to be your work time entertainment. So today is the 14th of January. 14th? Wait, no, 21st. I'm looking at the wrong day.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, you know, close.
Going back in time, y'all. Going back in time.
Absolutely, as we do. So yeah, the 21st of January, 2025. And we're on episode, what is this, 34 of Vyra versus Lyneth. Bum, bum, bum. And Chibi, what do we have on tap today?
So, we actually have Lloyd, as you can see on screen here. Maybe not in camera version yet, but we can see him in all his glory in camera version. But we have him in.
Whoa. They say you're mute. Oh, no.
Did you mute me?
No, you're not muted. You're turned down low.
Okay. Is it from your stream last night when you were
Yes.
like, I'm just going to turn down chat so that they can't hear them?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so sorry, Chibi. What do we have on tap today? One more time.
Apparently, muffling me.
Walk it back.
Okay.
Wait, since
today
I'm
we
doing
have
time warps,
Lloyd
that's going to be
on
another
screen.
time warp.
You cannot hear him, or you cannot see him, but you will be able to hear him. Just kidding. But he's going to come and chit chat with us about life on Vyra compared to our life on Lyneth, and we're going to come and contrast and compare like what we're experiencing, what we're struggling with, what we're achieving, and just kind of get in the nitty gritty of the fact that life in Vyra is going to be very, very different depending on which server you're on. And with that, I want to say welcome in, Lloyd.
Welcome. Hi, thank you for having me. Vyra, well, you know, whatever it is that we are living on. I think we're both on a version of Vyra, but
Yeah.
I am on the Vyra server.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. Life in Vyra in general, not life in Vyra, but Vyra
There
in
it is.
different realms. Yeah. But yeah. And if you like this kind of content, let us know. This is our more casual tavern talk, chilled, laid back vibe compared to our Saturday podcast. And it's more of a, like, imagine just being in a tavern with your friends, having a drink and chit-chatting about gaming. That's kind of what this forum is about. But also, I just wanted to say, cheers to Woodchip. Thank you so much again. By the way, you mean a lot to us. We were able to get a lot of stuff back online thanks to you after being away for 3 months. And I just wanted to say a quick shout out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we were down to just about no monies for the channel, and we were like, well, I guess we're going to have to do without some things for a couple months till we build up some cash. So you came in clutch. Super awesome.
So, starting us off, for those of you watching us, what server are you on? Are you on Vyra? Are you on Lyneth? Are you on the EU server that we don't have represented here? But in the meantime, what's up, Lloyd? How's life been over on Vyra?
It's been pretty insane, honestly. Lots of drama, lots of people yelling at each other. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've noticed since we left and came back, you're now with KLC.
Yep. So, wait, is this the first time that we've like really talked since like phase one ish?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Before that even.
Yeah,
like,
August, September.
We have not been live since like the middle to end of September.
I think it was the 22nd of September was the last time we were able to be live. And after that, just Mother Nature said, okay, you're done, and shut us down for the rest of the year.
Crazy. Yeah, I guess I should say welcome back into the Ashes life because we've missed you. The community has definitely missed you for sure. It's like every single week that I was like in Discord and stuff like that, all I hear is like, I hope Vertek and Chibi are okay. Like, they're just like, have you heard anything? So like, it was kind of like a process. I was like, I would hit you guys up every once in a while and be like, Yeah, well, they're going through a process at the moment, and it seems to be like multiple processes over time. So glad you're back. Thank you guys for accepting me back on so quickly since you guys have started streaming. But yeah, it's been there's a lot for both of us to catch up on, I guess, because in phase 1 I was still on Vyra, and you guys were on like what, Castus?
Yeah,
Castus.
Yeah, and then I guess like early on in phase 1 I had left Grey Sentinels and I went and joined Chaos and Lace Cartel, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of building the guild up, and I kind of like recently stepped down from leadership from there, but that's we're like kind of mostly there. I won't say we're all there, but we're mostly there to like caught up on what we needed to do. I never wanted to be a leadership. I just stepped up for a small time being, and
Lloyd was a band-aid.
Yeah, I was a band-aid, and yeah, so we just kind of got our stuff together, and now I get to finally just play the game, and opened up a lot of time for me without having to deal with guild stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
We chatted about that a little bit before we went live.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to now that you're getting more free time?
Rogue.
Rogue. Almost there.
No, but I am looking forward to making more content and stuff. I did spend, I think, 40 to 60 hours at my actual day job, and then 40 to 60 hours at my like working on the guild stuff. So it was a ton of hours being put into the guild and also my life simultaneously, which I'm sure Rive and other and Jamie Chaos can like go ahead and talk for themselves about that, where running a guild is a lot of work, takes a lot of time. It's really hard. So they've stopped making as much content. I've stopped making as much content because of that. So I get to focus more on myself now. So it's nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kenko. Yeah. I was trying to think of what the server name was and I couldn't exactly pull it up. But
other
meaning like Lotharia, or just not in the game. Like not either of these two options. Just worrying. Wondering, not worrying.
Yeah, mainly because right now only those two servers are represented. We don't have any Lotharians.
Nope. You are other than we got some people who are waiting. We have Ed over here on YouTube who's waiting to jump in next phase. So I wanted to make sure that they felt included. So if you're not in Vyra or Lyneth, you're falling in the other, so you're not feeling like left alone.
Yeah. And to catch up on chat a little bit there, Phase Twist, you're not in Alpha right meow, but are you looking to get in on Phase 3, or are you holding off purposely till like the betas or the live game?
Oh god, it's a pockets.
It's a
pockets. By the way, I'll probably be watching, but won't talk much. Pretty tired. It's 3 a.m. Oh god, thank you.
Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for stopping in. And at least if nothing else.
February copium. Yeah, we hope.
But
might have dueled pockets a few times on our server. There's quite a bit of people on Vyra, so a lot of the community people. So I guess that's kind of part of our discussion today, is like trying to figure out what the heck's going on your server. What's happening on our server?
You're welcome to jump in as well. You know you've been on the show before. Just saying. Lyneth or die trying. Okay,
and that's fair. That's fair, Face. That's fair.
Waiting.
$100 isn't like just a drop in the bucket.
You're playing Aram because Ashes is down. Well, you could be in here talking with us instead of playing Aram. I'm just saying. Laya has redeemed a champion of the hill / join for those of you who are on Twitch.
And Triple Killer, never had so much fun with so much in-game drama. I've had fun hearing about it, but I'm also having fun being thankful that that's not
a part of it
on Lyneth. We live in a veritable paradise compared to the stuff that Vyra's been going through.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to get into later, is like the experience of like, what is paradise without strife? And do you really value that paradise without the strife, But first things first, so I'm going to be honest. Lloyd, we've heard a lot about Vyra and how quote unquote toxic and overly contested it can be over there. So what has been your experience? I know that you said recently that KLC has kind of grown a lot more recently. And I've heard rumors from like one guild owns all the freeholds to like one guild owns all of the Huzzah, I won. One guild owns all of the nodes or most of the nodes. So what has been your experience and what is actually happening over on Vyra from somebody who's actually there?
Well, I will say I haven't had too much troubles, mostly because the cartel in itself, we're not like top guild. I wouldn't say that ever. But we hold our own. Like we contest things against like Envious, Polar, Barcode, all of them, Dopamine, Genesis. Like we fight Genesis and everybody for caravans all the time. So like that's kind of the game loop right now. But it took us like an extra week or two before we caught up and could start doing that type of content. So I will say that the server is definitely more geared towards hardcore types. And if you're a hardcore player, you are probably having a good to fun time. If you are a casual player, I think people tend to be a bit more on the negative side of the Vyra server. I'm having a ton of fun with the in-game drama, the mayoral talks, all the misinformation that's happening right now. There's like backroom talks. So like, if you're not part of it, a lot of it can seem probably not fun, or people are abusing their powers or something like that, or things like people that have been no-lifing it are way ahead of the people that haven't been no-lifing it, and they're not having a great time. So like a lot of these, it's like it makes sense where people are upset, and it makes sense where people are like quote unquote toxic or griefing because they're max level. They don't have much left to do, so they're just ganking caravans, and people that are running solo caravans are getting really upset. So like there's a lot of that stuff happening too.
Yeah, solo caravan life. The solo caravan life is a bad life to lead. It's a bad life to try.
Yeah,
definitely.
Even on our server, it's pretty not fun. I mean, I was gonna ask, are there any Zergs on your? Oh my gosh!
Penumbra, thank you so much.
Super, thank you.
So very many appreciations, friend.
Jump Master Vertex, Doctor of Toxicology.
Bunny hopping master, indeed.
Cheers.
Suspect has been part of a lot of skirmishes as well. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any Zergs on your server?
Not like pirate size like you guys have. But I mean, like player retention has definitely gone down for all guilds. I would say
concur with our server too.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to have upwards of like 150 members, but we have like anywhere between like 30 to 70 active members on at a time. So like we don't have all of our members online, but we are still pretty big. And like as long as you have like a raid group or a group of 8 or a group of 16, you generally hold yourself in most skirmishes. It's not like somebody is zerging you with like 100 members like a lot of people are afraid of.
Yeah.
Even like for world bosses and stuff like that, you're not getting those types of numbers. You are getting like 5 different guilds with 40-man raids, like all going for Firebrand, but nowhere near like one guild is just massively overpowering people through numbers. It will seem like that if you are doing like 1 to 8-man caravan raids and there's like a group of 30 that come and take your caravan.
You know what I gotta say?
Not like,
like about the pirates thing too, is even though it sounds scary, like there are, if the numbers and Roman numerals in the guild names can be believed, there's like 51 pirate guilds.
Jeez.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Supposedly. Some of them may just be absolutely meme things. Somebody just made the name and they're like the only people in the guild or something, just to meme on the pirates. Who knows?
That's our inner guild theory, is that like a lot of them are just like, oh, I want to be a guild master, but I also want to be part of pirates still, so I'm just gonna make another pirates guild. I don't know.
Yeah, there could actually just be a little bit of deception with it too. Maybe there's a little bit of, you know what, we're gonna have like 25-person cap in each guild, or 30-person cap, and we're just gonna spread it out.
There's actually some drama like that where, some other guilds were stealing other guilds' names and just adding like a 3 to the end of it. Like if they were like guild 1, guild 2, and then they didn't have another guild, somebody else would make guild 3 and start doing like misinformation propaganda. So like there's that stuff happening on our server too, which can be funny but also can be very griefy, and especially when it gets to the point where like people were actually being toxic and we're hurting the reputations of other guilds. So
and that's the direction. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to loop back just because that's the direction I was kind of going with the pirates thing, talking about the guild number of guilds and the sizes, is that it's not as bad as it would sound. Because when it comes to like PvP events, like random caravans that are going around and like roving like attack balls, just crushing caravans and moving on, and warring over specific POIs or anything, they feel like a normal sized large guild, if that makes sense. They feel like they're about a tenth the size of what they actually are. And thank you, Yurt. Cheers to you.
Nice.
Thank you for the resub.
So they're not like being overly oppressive on your server. They're just
not being
they're small,
not being overly oppressive.
Actually, that's kind of what I was trying to say. Is like, I wanted to give a different perspective also on the adding on to, because like, sure, you could be doing it for misinformation, but also maybe you're doing it for protection. If you're a part of the Big Zerg and you got the Big Zerg guild name in your name, you're probably more likely to be able to like get like a smaller guild to leave you alone for fear of you actually being a part of the bigger Zerg guild and them like, you know, combining really quickly to overtake them. So I mean that there's a tactic in that as well. Like if you have the big shiny name in your title for your guild, you know, you either might be left alone because they're like, oh, I don't want to mess with pirates because the last thing I want is pirates to come after me, or then we're like, that dude's a pirate, I'm gonna get him. Like you have one of two reactions, right? But apparently also with our first stream back, the Pirates Guild, I guess, is also on the EU server, not just the Lyneth server. There's apparently some of them over on EU as well. But we have a pretty good mixture of people here from Lyneth and Vyra, and a few from other who are not here. But
yeah, a little balance there.
Yeah, it's pretty good to see you. Nice little balance. Yeah, but you'll make actual pirates put you on their kill list because you're trying to fake them. That's actually very good point, Gutscore. But also, I mean, that begs the question, you know, when you get to be such a big size, how do you know who's actually still in your guild and who's not? You know? Yeah,
I mean, and then on top
the guild
of that,
systems are really limiting those big Zergy guilds, because I'll tell you, even with like the 5 guilds that we were creating, it was a pain in the ass. Like just managing the 5 guilds and who's going into what, and like how you're going to be like operating those members and stuff like that. It was a hassle, and getting people all in the same line without, you know, having guild chat in game, because they're spread up against like 5 different chats. It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was definitely a process to work around.
Yeah. Now, that being said, let's talk about toxicity, because there's like at least one guild that I can think of on Lyneth that is like hands down absolutely toxic when you go to engage with them. And I'm gonna drop names. It's Fed. I'm gonna be honest. There, you see it in shout chat. Like I could have nothing to do with them, and I just see them like being toxic AF in chat, like over shout chat. And you know,
DMs.
Is it like PvP banter, or is it like just
like
I don't know?
I ended up being called in to help back up because I'm not really big into PvP, but they needed a healer to help with backing it up. And I heard from one of my guildmates that apparently one of them just like DM'd them and said, fuck you. And they're like, just out of nowhere, like the thing was ending and they're just like, fuck you. And they're, oh, okay.
All right.
I guess.
And then like, yeah, like a couple of members will like DM somebody and start talking about something and then yell and then be like, never message me again. Well, you initiated the conversation.
Yeah, you're the one that messaged us in the first place. But I bring that up because Keyboard Oracle says, I find it hard to believe that people are toxic. I found most people to be relaxed and easy to get along with. This is why I'm a hermit. And I'm like, no, they're out there. They're definitely out there. But that is probably like one of the more toxic people on Vyra. Now you have like the Piranha Guild, which is Yggdrasil, in my opinion. I call them the Piranha Guild because 1 second we're out in the desert just minding our own business as a little 8-man trying to get off some like XP debt, and the next thing you know, like 14 Yggdrasil come over the hill and they start like just plowing through you and then just like move off the screen. But what are your experience in Vyra with that? You know, are there toxic guilds in Vyra? Is it most? I mean, obviously Steven put out that like big announcement at some point during the Christmas time for a reason, but I'm just curious, was it Vyra? Was it another server?
I'm curious. Have you heard the name Walmart Lover?
Yeah, he was on
may have heard that name. May have heard that name around.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's our toxic man or woman, whoever is this famed shopper of Walmart.
Mysterious person.
Yeah. It's been pretty funny. There's a lot of toxicity with, I guess, PvP banter, but it's not like toxic. I would say there is toxic things that are happening. There's like people pulling mobs, obviously. There's people that were using exploits. Obviously, there's a ton of numbers that Steven posted about. No way. Yeah, crazy.
Stel said he got banned.
Oh no.
Shit.
Did he really? Is that Walmart Lover? That's crazy.
I think there's a few people that are like questioning if he actually got banned because it looked like a meme because he's the one that posted about it in the Ashes Discord. But yeah. But yeah, there are toxic people, as there are in all games, I should say. But a lot of it comes from PvP, I would have to say, on the Vyra server, and the PvP is not necessarily a bad thing, or the PvP banter is not necessarily a bad thing. But like with all games that are competitive and that involve your skill expression, people get a little upset when they lose, or like to rub salt into people's wounds when they win.
You know, we were talking about that, like, where it feels like people are taking their characters in alpha like way too seriously for an alpha, where it could be wiped at any point in time. So it's
just the competitive nature.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you think it comes from like just being more competitive, or is it just like, I've been waiting for Ashes for so long that like this means the world to me, and please don't wipe my character? Or maybe
I mean, part of it's probably that, but I would say most of it is competitive. Ashes is a very reputation-based game, as I keep saying, as like we go through all of these different phases. Even in alpha, even in betas and all that stuff, your guild's reputation is going to be carried along throughout the way. So there's a lot of information, misinformation. There's a lot of bantering going back and forth, all for the sake of being better and trying to carry that reputation forward as one of the top guilds or whatever. So I think that's where the competitiveness comes from. And obviously, like, Lineker and DA have always been yelling at each other and bantering through Discord and stuff like that, and doing Discord PvP when Ashes is down, and it's the best thing to watch ever.
Dude, Lineker is hilarious. Love it. He murdered me in like pre-alpha testing. I was like, Lineker, what are you doing? He's like, sorry, got a PvP.
Sorry, business is business.
Yeah, business is business. I'm like, no shame, no shame. That's why I also tell people, you know, like, if I fight with you in game, I'm not gonna fight with you out of game. I leave in-game politics to in-game politics and out of game politics to out of game politics. Like, don't cross the two. That's when it goes worse. Like,
Vyra does not care about that rule. They will fight in, out, everywhere of game. Just
okay.
It's all politics all the time.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I can recognize gameplay politics in terms of like, you and I are fighting in game because we want the spawn, but I don't think you hate me because of it. I think you just really want that spawn.
Yeah.
Vertec?
I would think you hate me. I would. Why would you abuse me like that? Why would you do such a thing?
Rude.
But yeah, Sitsuma, I'll just say to that, like, there's also a gigantic gray area in the term PvP banter.
Oh,
where
yeah,
it
for sure.
goes from PvP banter to you're being an ass. Kind of like there's pranks, and then it's a prank, bro. Like, there's two different worlds, and somewhere in the middle you got to find the part of the gray area that you're comfortable with. But most
Absolutely.
PvP banter that I've seen and heard is legit, you know. But then there's just some that is legitimately, like, absolutely toxic, and it's because it creates an environment where somebody doesn't just go, yeah, I got beat, yeah, you are the better player, the better group, your comp was better, you had the better strategy, you had the better whatever, hey, you won, we lost, let's take the L. And then there's like, why are you even saying that? Like, why are you even going that far? Like, it doesn't even make a point at this point. It just makes you look stupid.
That's kind of why I've like prefaced it like there's going to be toxic people in the video game. Like it just is that way. I don't think there's any getting around it.
It's like, it's a guarantee. There's going to be a lot of toxicity with PvP games, guaranteed.
Yeah. So there are people that cross the line, and obviously there's not really, like, it shouldn't be accepted. It's not acceptable to behave in that way. But to not expect it is kind of naive. So that's kind of like my point of view on it.
Yeah. Now, if you beat me, I'm snitching saying you have epic raptor hides on you.
Dirty deeds, dirty deeds.
Dude,
all over
raptor
global,
hides.
Dude,
Man, let me tell you.
Defending those. We have
let's
people
talk
like
about that.
fighting over that. It's crazy.
So we were trying to get raptor hides, and we were trying to go up against pirates. And by us trying to go against pirates, I mean like 3 or 4 of us were trying to go against pirates, and they quickly amassed. But they, like, pirates were hardcore camping the raptor hides. Like, they were legit going corrupted over these things. And I was like, dude, I can't even get above like a green or a blue once in a while, you know?
Wait, why are they going corrupted? You could just marionette them and just take the hide while they're stunned.
Because I don't think they were a bard. I think they were just people just trying to keep them on lockdown. Because if a couple of them pop and you're only over here on this one, they want to make sure that they have them on lockdown. I don't know. But how has it been over there for raptor hides? I mean, I'm
it's
not
the same.
happy that it's like this tiny spawn area over by the Citadel to get a raptor hide. Like, why are there not more places? There should be more places to get raptor hides. Like, let's see raptor hides maybe in the tropics. That'd be cool.
Or the desert.
Or the desert.
Yeah, I mean, the raptor hides are, because they are basically the only thing that allow, like, I think it's like leatherworking to really shine, or tanning, for the really good item increases and stuff. Yeah, it's highly sought over. It's as scarce as copper was in phase 1 and the beginning of phase 2. Like, it's just impossible to find, and you have like 3 spawns. Yeah. Thankfully, they respawn faster every 2 to 4 hours, but you know, you only have 3 raptors in the entire map that people are contesting, so it gets rough.
Yeah. And on Lyneth, at least with the pirates in that situation too, the one thing to recognize is that pirates, they took over Halcyon, and they've decided that that's going to be like the hub for all animal husbandry and hunting and whatnot. So them camping spawns of creatures kind of makes absolute sense that they would be so ravenous about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but obviously it like also hurts like server economy when it comes to a certain point. Like, if you're not able to get these like tools and stuff out to everybody else because you're doing it just for animal husbandry, then that could be a problem for the server. And that's also where servers need to round up against a bigger enemy to try to take over those spots or whatever.
Yeah. And we have Sitsuma, who's one of the members of Envious, and Sitsuma says, we watched 2 guilds actually war deck over raptor hides on Saturday. Legit a 40v40 between 2 guilds, and they both said it was for the raptor hides. Like,
Yep.
that's pretty crazy to be fighting over raptor hides that hard. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, we've had shouts out, like guild shouts in our chat, to just be like, hey, we're going after raptor hides. Can we get like a 40-man raid? And we just assemble a 40-man raid and start like crowding over the raptor spawns. Like,
Yeah.
and we did that for like 3 hours one day. It's crazy the amount of lengths people are going to do. But yeah, we'll mount up. We'll go in together as a guild, and it's kind of a social experience, and it's kind of funny just to watch people do it. But obviously,
Yeah.
it is a pain point for those that don't have the ability to do that. So there are pros and cons to that, and where a lot of frustrations stem from.
Then you have me who just like, you know what? This isn't worth it. I'll go find something else. Like, I'm just gonna go leave.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I'll just get gold and put it on the market, and then I'll buy it later, because I'm not dealing with that.
Nah, I'm good. I don't need that much drama over one thing. Like,
Yep.
I don't need to do a 40v40 over it.
I'll join the 40v40 because it's fun to fight, but other than that,
yeah, I'll be there to support the guild, but I mean, outside of that, not the next question I have is, we have heard, at least on our server and a few others in phase 1, where, you know, Willow is really hard to get. We have the opinion that obviously there's like 2,000 pirates on our server, and then you have Overlord, which are also pretty large. And then you have a couple of other kind of larger guilds than we are. How hard is it to get resources, and who do you think on your server is kind of like gatekeeping them? Because we feel like between Overlord and pirates, like a lot of the resources are hard to get to.
As for resources, I don't think other than raptors, I don't think there's been an insane stranglehold on resources. I think almost everybody has been able to fight over, or at least get a small portion of resources.
Yeah.
I know Willow is definitely difficult to come across. There's some willow trees that everyone's like, oh my god, there's finally a willow, and then they're not able to chop it down, and you're like, ah. But like,
womp womp.
but yeah, like the willows seem to be highly sought after. One for caravans, the other for bows. Like you have like willows that are needed for like books and stuff like that for buy orders. So there is a bit of a bottleneck when it comes to those tier 2 resources, for sure. But for the most part, we don't have people gatekeeping too much, other than, you know, raptor hides and trying to get these certain spawns on the certain hours or whatever.
Grabba the Buzzos Intrepid is gatekeeping them.
Yeah,
it's a true story. It's a true story.
And I mean, honestly, you know, there's a lot of us in a very small area, you know, fighting over these things. But Vertec, what are your thoughts?
There are indeed people kind of struggling for resources. Me, I'm a cook mainly, right? I started off by cooking and fishing mainly just so I could boost the cooking up super fast. And now I'm shifting over to farming. And poop is hard to come by. Poops are hard to come by.
Especially with the drop rate when you're a higher level. So you have to make an alt to get more poop.
I spent 2 hours farming poop on creatures that the only thing they dropped was glint and poop. That was it. That was their drop table. The end.
Yep.
And I think I came up with like 35 common poops and like a couple other of the other colors. Like that took me exactly 32 seconds to spend at farming, including buying the other materials that I needed to craft something at the farming table. It's bananas. The poop gate is real.
Is it cooking?
The poop gate is real.
Is it cooking or tanning that gets the animal fat? Because animal fat is extremely valuable on our server right now. Tanning.
Yeah,
tanning.
same.
That's the other issue I have is if you're talking about taking an animal and turning it into skin, meat, fat, bone, why can a cook not do that?
Yeah.
I think it did in phase 1. I think they changed it for phase 2.
Like either cooks or tanners should both be able to do that.
Because you could get bones and stuff when you're cooking the carcasses out of like the cooking tree. I don't know if they changed it or if that's how it's always been. I didn't really interact with that system.
That's fair. That being said, you know, I think that you know, if you think about it, if a cook is getting just the meat, they don't need the skin, right? For a lot of these things. So why can they not both supply these things? Like if a tanner needs just the skin, they don't need the meat. You're able to cut the meat from the skin and give the meat to the cook. Like why can that not be something that they can share? I think that would be something that would be awesome, especially for some of these things where it's like, I have, let's say, a specific thing that's really valuable. Let's say raptors. I could either give it to a tanner to make an item to wear or give it to a cook for this really great buff food, for example. And it's like, it feels extremely limited on the top end of everything. I don't know how you feel about everything with that, but I feel very similarly with Bluebell. You know, either I can get armor or I could get like a potion. One of the two. Which one am I going to go with?
Yeah. And as far as Willow, by the way, people, just remember, if there is green on the map, there is the potential for Willow to be there. There's some spots, I'll just say, look more carefully, because I was wandering down one specific road to a specific area that it seems people don't go down very often. And there were, I'm not even exaggerating here, there were 14 willow trees within a 22-second walk of each other.
Show me your pathing there. I need that.
Lloyd's like, well, let me get in on that. Maybe it's just a Vyra thing. Maybe they got to unlock on Lyneth.
I might share with you after the stream. Just saying.
Perfect. We're not fighting over the same server resources, so we're
right.
Good.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. See, yeah, someone else on a different server can totally use it.
Actually, so real quick question. So Keyboard Oracle says, are all these rare materials consumables? And I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but Goaty GZ says Bluebell is either hiding or it's just everywhere. And I honestly think that it might be broken. I'm not entirely sure, but I had the understanding, or like maybe a misunderstanding, that like Bluebell was the daytime version of the Moonbell, and that maybe it's just not working. They look the same. I mean, I would not be upset if a Bluebell died towards the evening and a Moonbell was born there, so that you had more. Okay, at night, during these 4 hours, you get access to Moonbell, and then during the next day cycle, you get access to Bluebell. But I don't know. I will tell you, before I got my sickle at a higher rarity, which I did, and it feels like I didn't do anything, I got more legendary Moonbell that I can't do anything with than Bluebell.
Yeah.
And here I need Bluebell for my my, what am I at? I think I want to say apprentice. Yeah, apprentice fishing is where I dropped it down to. I was up to like Grandmaster, but I was only leveling that just for shits and giggles to see how far it would go. Because I just needed fish to level cooking, and now I'm not going to use fish anymore. At least for the current set of recipes. I got to see what else comes up. Maybe I'll change my mind again.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you were saying earlier, where you're like saying have certain professions be able to deconstruct things that you're making and be able to use it for other professions. So if you're taking a carcass from cooking or tanning, you can deconstruct that carcass and get the components back and recycle it to another processor somewhere. Because for me, processing is for sure the bottleneck of the economy system. From everything that I've experienced, processing, one, it takes the longest because you're on a timer waiting for stuff, and two, it's absolutely necessary for anything that you craft for it to kind of go through a hard gatherable process where you have to like get as much gatherables as possible to make all the processing, and there's a lot of gatherables needed, but they're pretty scarce, so it's really hard to get those items and then get it into the processor. Then it takes a lot of time, and it's not just one processor, but there's like what is there, like 9-10 processes,
something like that,
that you need. So like some of those are sharing those scarce tier 1 gatherables. And so that it makes the relay system really bottlenecked in the processing state. And then crafting is just like, oh, I click button, I make thing.
Yeah, let's add on to that. So for us over on Lyneth, our biggest problem is like you have to choose between do I help the node level or do I get better gear?
Yes.
And it feels like this either or, you know, like I kind of understand you're supposed to be able to use lower tier stuff, but let me tell you, Intrepid, if you're listening, if you have 4 nodes that are looking for tool upgrades that all need copper and was it like basalt or granite?
Yeah.
Where there's so much that just goes away really, really quick in that case, you know? It feels rough. It feels hard. It's like I either get to progress or maintain the node that I'm in, or I get to have better gear, not both.
Yeah.
Like I think I agree with Steven that there is a lot of copper being mined. Almost all of it, probably.
Yeah.
However, I think what you're getting at is that there isn't enough supply for the demand between the entire server economy.
Well, no, what's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening is like because nodes can be shared between multiple different materials.
Mm-hmm.
They'll mine the copper, and then whatever else pops up is something they don't want and or can't mine, and so they pass it by, and eventually that just weeds out all the copper stuff. So there's a lot of copper being mined, but it may not be as much as if it was just a designated copper node that was spawning. Like there's going to be X number of copper nodes.
Like if they're sharing, like with what Seetsuma said in chat, where daffodils share a bluebell spawn. If you're not mining or picking the daffodils, no bluebell is going to spawn. So if nobody's mining granite or basalt, no copper is going to spawn. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And honestly, I've heard like a variety of things. Like there was a video I saw from one of the guys in Pirates. He put it out. He's like, there's this theory that if you mine basalt or granite, that a copper node might show up there. But let me just prove to you. And he shows like this video loop of him going out and grabbing copper and like these higher tier things. And when it respawns, it's the same node. So when he mines the copper, 4 hours later, it's a copper again, and things like that. And you know, that's you know where who was it that I just responded to? It was Triple Killer says that's when you have a dopamine level 25 bard sitting at a legendary copper node waiting for the 2 hours to go up and get it again. And I've seen that even on Lyneth. There's a pirate that will log in front of a mob or a node that is about to pop up or just popped up, get that mob or node, log back off, done.
Yep.
You know,
They just have it on a set timer. I have seen that as well. We people are like, are they botting? Or are they scripting? Or like, are they hacking? But like some people just log in, grab the node and log off, and that's it.
They probably have,
I have also
1,000,001
noticed
timers on their phone or their computer.
I have also noticed and heard of like resource nodes having the same rarity at the same location every single time. So it's very static, not just for the node itself, but also for the rarity sometimes, which is where there was a rumor in phase 1 about the legendary willow tree, where like you would just always go there to farm the legendary willow, and that's how everyone got their legendary gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for a bit there it was like for what 12 hours or 24 hours, something like that. It would all be, if it was legendary once, it's going to be legendary again.
Yeah.
I haven't really done a whole lot of gathering myself, so I didn't keep track of all that. I heard people talking. So this is all hearsay.
I've done a lot of it. And like, yes, they can guarantee, at least with stone and trees, and I think flowers, all of those, if it was legendary, when it pops back up, it should be legendary again for that exact node. But this is why I'm pushing really hard, maybe for them to fix the rarity issue, because I pushed really, really, really hard to get the like higher end, like epic rarity sickle, but it doesn't feel like it made a difference. It's like 300 to 400 rarity rating, but I'm still getting a crap ton of common. And
So-
and it's just one of those things where it's like, I get this is a rarity rating, but it doesn't feel like it's heavily rated. It feels like it's just, you know, like a chance rating instead of like, I am more likely to get the blues and the epics and the heroics. I don't even care about getting legendaries all the time. I just care about a higher chance to not always get common.
Now, see, that's
I
a
have
that's a
also
point of conversation there too. So, assuming that they do fix the rarity thing, because yeah, if you stack a bunch of rarity increasing, like your shirt, your pants, and your tool, right? It should have an impact. You should be able to potentially proc a heroic off of a rare, you know?
Yeah.
But let's say that that was fixed. How do you feel, Lloyd, about the when you find something and it's a certain quality, it's going to grow back as that within the whatever timer for the next 24 hours or X amount of hours until a reset? Versus, let's say, a completely random, like when it spawns, it might be legendary right now, and then it'll be common, and then uncommon, and then it'll be epic, and then common 7 times in a row.
Yeah. So I guess first with the rating system, it probably just needs to get buffed, because if it's dynamic, then and like nodes are random and not static, then the rarity actually has an effect, right? But from players' anecdotal experience, they don't believe that the nodes are random necessarily. Like they have like a certain range that they can be, like they can be like common to blue or like blue to legendary or something like that, and rarity may help. But what I've noticed is that this rating system that they have is relatively weak on the stat side. Like for example, physical power rating, you need 3 power rating to get 1 strength equivalent. You need like, and so like it becomes this weird stat line that you absolutely need. And I think rarity is like that, where it's like, oh, you have plus 30 rarity, but like that's like 10, not even like 10% of a rarity increase on your character, and you're like, okay, well, it was an increase, but it wasn't that much of an increase, you know?
Yeah.
So it seems very minimal at the moment, so maybe they need to buff it. Maybe the node system needs to be fixed on its own. I'm not sure. I haven't done like the math. I haven't done like the gathering routes. I'm not really an artisan.
Yeah,
but like that would be my assumption on like where we need to look at. But like we don't know as testers.
Fixed.
Only Intrepid does.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the question to rephrase was, assuming all of that is fixed and the rarity on your gear actually matters, do you like the current system where if you find something that's legendary, you come back after a certain timer and it's going to be legendary again? Would you rather see it completely random spawn around the world?
I think I don't really care which route they go. What I care about is consistency. As long as it's consistent throughout the entire realm, it's fine. But if there's inconsistencies, I don't like that.
Hi, Vlord. Vlord says I would love to see random spawn timers and random rarities, and I agree. But I also like, you know, Vertec made a really good point last chat we had about this, where, you know, like on the one hand, it is frustrating to know that people are camping these really good spawns. On the other hand, at least you know that there's a chance if somebody has a lower rarity to be able to get a higher legendary item if they just come across the right node. But I think I would like a middle between the two, like have the one thing that like spawns legendary, but also have the ability to proc up to a legendary with your tool. I think that would be what would feel the best. And I also absolutely understand, you know, Intrepid has always had this perspective of like, if it's a legendary item, it should be hard to come by, you know? And I feel that I would not even be opposed to more epic items. Like up to epic is really, really often, especially with the higher rarity you get, with a higher chance of proccing a legendary once in a while. I would be fine with that. Camp the Camper. Oh man, yeah.
I think-
until they have all their friends hiding in the bushes, and then you get ganked.
I think one thing that would really help the system, and like the one feedback I actually think would be really cool to see in game, is have these veins of resources that are locked behind hard to clear points of interest, and you have to like defeat bosses or mini bosses in order to get to these like little passages inside points of its interest where there's a rather large vein of these resource nodes that you can then gather, and these would also be like highly contested grind spots, and you could also go down into these dungeons with multiple people and fight over these spots. I think that will, like, you can find those resources out in the other world, but you would find higher rarity and higher concentrated of these behind these locked areas, behind like difficult content. I think that's something that I think would really kind of fit like their model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Furia said Camp the Camper, and I was like, but then that's how you get eventually to the 40v40 for the Raptors. And they go, and my job is complete.
There it is.
Nice.
There it is, boys.
So, I mean,
Back it up, go home.
and we're done here. But no, like the one thing I was thinking about with all that is that as long as you have gear changes that actually have an impact in rarity, or can have an impact, that like it's giving you a fair shake at increasing the rarity. And also, somebody made a good point there with let's see here. Ed over on YouTube said, shouldn't, by example, legendary logs be limited to very mature trees and more common tier materials would be on younger trees? I think that would be a really cool thing. Like, the older the tree is, the more likely it is to proc a higher rarity.
That's what I thought it was, honestly.
I thought it was
I
that way too.
So excited. I was like, oh, this is an adult, like, whatever tree. And then it was just common. And I was like, oh.
Well, funny enough, before I continue my point, that area I was talking about where it had like 14 willows in like a 22-second run.
Oh my God, yeah.
I couldn't chop them down, so somebody else in the group had to come chop them down and just split it with me for finder's fee. But ironically enough, the adolescents were the only ones that did not have common.
Weird.
Dang.
Yeah, the adolescents were uncommon and heroic, but the adults were all common, pure common.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I feel like it's both, Grabba, because Grabba's saying, isn't it supposed to be that way, or is it just the quantity for like adolescent to adult? Because I know adolescent you get like what, 2, and then adult you get 5, kind of like with the mining
something in
nodes?
there, yeah. But my point really on some of that is that gathering is kind of a boring chill out and just mindlessly run around until you find something and you take it. Like, gathering is, there's not much complexity to gathering. There's not much thought to gathering. Let's be honest. It's you get your tools and you go gather and you gather and you gather and you gather. There's not much planning. There's not much strategy. There's not much of anything to it, especially if all of the materials are going to spawn across the entire map.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Chaffee, thank you for the
Chaffee,
resub.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. But I think I'm in the minority here because everyone else thinks random is the best, but I like the idea that if you stumble across an epic or a rare or a legendary and you mark it down and you remember to come back in X amount of time, then you deserve to get another one because you're pre-planning on coming back. You're showing dedication and you're showing that you've mapped it out, because the game doesn't have a way to like put pinpoints on your map and come back to them. You can put one little ping on your map that disappears as soon as you log out or basically do anything really after closing the map.
Yeah.
So you have to remember, you have to mark it down, you have to somehow reference it and come back to it before somebody else picks it up. So I think that adds one more factor of showing dedication and showing that you actually really are planning what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you found a gold vein, right? So you're going to go back to that gold vein. You're not going to be like, the gold's gone now. I got it once. Next.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like Penumbra is saying, the problem is that, you know, with camping, it should not be rewarded. Right now, it feels like it's being rewarded because every time you camp an item, it's still the same thing. But I want to bring it back to what Sitsuma said. Sitsuma had said, you know, I'm curious to see if this is only really a thing we notice right now and complain about, because the map is 10% of what will eventually be. And we brought this topic up, or this point up, multiple times. And I feel like we eventually always concur that yes, it's because it's all of us shoved into a 10% part of the map versus like this huge map we're gonna eventually get. But I still honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, you know, with these static spawns. Will they feel more rare because there's less people there? Or there's another theory circulating that them putting all of us into 10% of the map at the beginning of phase 2 is potentially them testing to see if they could make these mega servers with beyond 10,000 people, because I think he said in somebody's like interview they were like 7K max concurrent. And if they want 10K eventually per server.
Yeah, we had 7,400 people on. He didn't specify which server, but
yeah,
Vyra felt fucking cluttered. I'll tell you that much. We were fighting over spawns that didn't matter. So I mean, it was a lot of fun on day one, but it was also crazy.
A lot of stress.
And also, if the Titan's Ring exploit didn't happen, we'd be fighting even more. So like, there's like 400 people, 300 people sitting in Titan's Ring while we were also fighting over shitty spawns, like 8v8. Like, it was crazy. But I do think to bring it back to the economy and like the scarcity of things, I think random variability is good. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I think my opinion is, as long as there's some sort of consistency behind the logic behind it, whether it's static or random variability or dynamic changing nodes or whatever, as long as there's some sort of consistency that Intrepid does with it, I think it's good. Just because then there's a more predictable pattern for people to use skill expression in their ways of finding higher rarity nodes and whatnot.
Yeah. I also like what Keyboard Oracle says on YouTube. Random but hard to get to places should have greater chance of a higher rarity drop. And I agree. And I think honestly, that is what a mayor's job is to go do. Go find those hard to get to places, because you're flying around anyway, at least in phase 2. In the live game, only Metropolis mayors will be able to fly. But hey, use it while you got it, right?
Can I ask you guys a question?
What's up?
How's your mayorship stuff going? You just brought up mayors, and I'm curious how Lyneth is handling all their mayors and whatnot right now. I haven't heard anything on that end.
It's been interesting. I mean, for our own particular mayorship, I think we have a alliance that we're a part of, and so we're figuring things out within that alliance. But across the board, I don't think that, you know, there may be a whole lot of group decision on the mayor side for like how to handle the nodes. It's just one of those things where, you know, PirateSoftware in one of his more recent streams or interviews said that, you know, he wants, because he's kind of taken over Halcyon right now. Eventually they want the Tropics when that becomes available. But he wants Halcyon to be like that place where you go to buy your Tesla or your Lamborghini or whatever. So he's definitely turned it into prioritizing hunting and animal husbandry, things like that. And then I've noticed that like a lot of the other people are just kind of, it feels random. It doesn't feel like anything super planned. It's more like what would benefit me as a node. And primarily, it seems like they are going for things where it's primarily processing and or crafting, and not so much the tools, not so much the gathering, because you go there once to get a new tool, and then you don't really need to go there for that tool anymore. But I say
But you need those tools in order to get that processing and crafting going, which is so...
Exactly. So I feel like we're kind of in a weird like lockout. For example, I think our server is planning on pushing tailoring and weaving, but there's no journeyman herbalism anywhere. And we've pushed journeyman scribing, but not pushed journeyman alchemy. But we have journeyman mining. So it's like, okay, cool. You got the rocks. You got the end product. There's nobody to process them for the end product kind of thing.
Yeah. So I was mayor, and so I got to kind of like do all these things. I was also like part of like Kurian. He was like our mayor earlier. And so we've done a few mayoral videos and stuff like that. So we kind of know what we're talking about. And there's just not enough nodes. There's not enough plots for you to reach journeyman everything. And so our issue on Vyra is that I think our mayors came up with like some sort of master plan or something like that to get journeyman everything. But they required some data mining that they had done to kind of predict what was going to happen. And so some of these nodes, the master plan relies on basically all 8 of the nodes to be tier 4, like a town state, and they require 8 building plots. So you would need to get everything, you need to have that. Right now, we have 8 nodes, level 3, which have 4 building plots. There's no way in hell you are ever going to get journeyman and everything.
Right. At
so
least not
and then
until
also when you
level
add
4
in
nodes.
vassalship,
Right.
vassalship will lock out certain nodes from leveling outside of that. So you won't even have that when vassalship comes in. So like having this master plan seems to have failed for the most part, but we are still getting journeyman some stuff as well.
Yeah.
And so there's been some of like questions around like for example, Lyneth has 2 factories. You don't need 2 factories. And also if you level up scribing to journeyman like on your server, then you can't level up alchemy without another I think it's like school of construction
Laboratory.
or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you need another sub building in order to do that, but you can't do, because it's like a skill tree, and once you go down one path, you need another building plot in order to go down the other path. So you can't really just do 2 journeyman things.
Yeah.
So it is pretty frustrating for mayors because it makes the it makes the citizens, question your like ability to be a mayor, and it's like, well, I literally can't. I want to, but I can't.
What about like mayorship commissions? Because like for example, I would say a shining thing, as much as I'm frustrated at them for not choosing my love of life, alchemy, they chose scribing. Like Clover from Overlord keeps up the commissions pretty well for crafting and gathering. How important is that? Because I actually, maybe you can give us some light, because Zara has primarily been the mayor or Sos for our guild. What is the difference in the mayorship commissions, and how do you know which to prioritize for your node? Like, is it a balance? Do you have to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that? And then on top of that, every time they do a restart, like at 5 a.m., goodbye all of those buffs that you worked for.
Yeah, I guess most people that are going to be mayors are going to be primarily going for the crafting benefits or like the gathering speed benefits. There's not a ton of stuff that you really need to do as mayor. It's mostly like plug and play on like whatever you want. Most of the commissions are anywhere between like 5 to 15 gold, unless you're going for like a war commission, which is like 50 gold. So obviously that's going to be on the higher end. There's some of the higher like crafting stuff as well, but generally as mayor, you're going to want to pick the easiest commissions to finish, because your citizens care about node currency, and then you're also going to care about the benefits that you get from like crafting, and you can stack certain benefits. So if you have like go kill goblins and then go kill goblins, people can just go do 2 commissions at the same time, and the commissions buffs, they'll stack. So you could have like 200% crafting XP just by killing goblins.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's like one of the mini games that you can do as mayor to help your citizens go get what they need. And once those buffs are active, like you could just put in, say it's like processing for like a laboratory, and you kill all those goblins and you get the crafting XP bonus. Well, now when you do 250 magic powders, your alchemy goes from like 1 to like 12 in one processing time. So it's like an insane bonus of XP. So that's also part of the reason why.
Yeah, from what I understand, if they put out commissions of any kind, or buy orders rather, if they put out buy orders for basic tools, even though it spawned from one type of building, it could totally be used to do maintenance of another, because you just now have those basic tools piled up and ready to go.
Yep.
That's fair.
Exactly. So before Kree handed off mayor to me, and I say handed off because I had to fight Richie for mayorship.
Like, was it 1v1 in the middle of town, high noon?
Pretty much. It was a lot of Discord PvP, a lot of memes, a lot of propaganda being
okay.
shouted out, like telling Richie should shush, some of those like little propaganda memes.
Richie.
But Richie. So it was pretty fun.
Richie. No hate.
He's part of my guild now, so it's like
yeah.
But oh gosh, where was I going with this?
Sorry.
I mentioned the buy orders can be used for multiple purposes.
Oh yeah, so when I became mayor, basically Kree had already done the entire job for me. Like when I entered mayorship, I had all the gold I needed. I had all the gold for maintenance. I had all the materials for maintenance for the remaining 3 weeks of phase 1. I literally could have done nothing and not messed it up. But I mean, obviously, I still tried to pay attention and learn the system and stuff. Yeah. And like during wars and stuff, I would raise our tax rate to like 100% while people were raiding our town. So when they went to go repair, like I made like 80 gold in maybe an hour for our node for people just repairing at our node. So it was pretty fun.
Nice.
So
always check your tax fees whenever you check the building, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Here's the question for Tech. I know you and I have chatted at length about like our experience with the desert nodes being PvP and the struggle to get anything to Asmoran or Sunhaven or anything, because everybody loves to PvP any caravans going through there. How are your desert nodes doing? Because ours are struggling a little bit.
Oh, ours have like no buildings. Like they've just not been built up because there's no citizens there.
Yeah.
So without citizens, no buy orders, no currency, no marketplace gold coming in. Like,
so it's rough. It's rough in the desert. My question to you is: do you think the open world PvP, the like Lawless zone, do you think that's affecting the desert nodes?
Not necessarily. We have two major paths, right? So whenever we've consistently ran like 20 caravan raids from Winstead down to Asmoran.
Okay.
But we don't do it solo for the most part. Like we have like full raids doing this. So it's not like we're just sending solo caravans through. Like we're prepping for this, and it seems, and we kind of have to on our server because Steven's metrics, where Vyra had like at like 10%, almost 10% of all caravans being created were fought over, were PvP. So it is very, very true that if you are running a caravan, most of the time it's going to be PvP. It's kind of our end game thing right now. And so we do like all of our caravan runs have defenders, and almost every single caravan that I've ran has at least been attempted to be attacked. So I don't know if that's us as a guild thing. I don't know if it's the paths we're taking, but there are designated routes on Vyra where you know the path. If you're going from Mira to New Ayla, you're going through Lionhold. If you are going from Winstead to Asmoran, you're taking the river through Miralith. If you're going to Sunhaven, you are going around the south side of Oakenbane. And then there's like 2 different routes to go into the tropics, and there's like one island that you have to go to in order to which is always camped by like 30 to 40 people. So there's certain things that you're aware of when it comes
Right.
to caravan hunting and caravan defending.
Right.
And so I don't think any of this at any time is a secret by any means. It's just the way of Vyra right now.
Yeah. It's funny because Sutsuma says Envious and Polar on Vyra are in Miralith and Sunhaven. Almost any caravan going through Mira gets attacked. Meanwhile, over on like Lyneth, I kid you not, Overlord has initiated the Miralith caravan protection system. Where if there's a caravan going to Miralith, their citizens will literally come out and help defend your caravan trying to get into the Miralith city because they want money. So I found that really, really amusing. That being said, Nexus may have gone a little heavy with attacking caravans and became known for attacking any caravan coming into New Ayla. But what they didn't know is we were targeting very specific guilds that had targeted us.
Yeah, it was targeting
I'm sure
certain.
Vertek was leading it, right?
No, that would be Chibi. Chibi's the bloodthirsty one. I just go along with it. Yep, see? Yep, look in the cup. But
It's
no, we
Moscato, but it looks red.
yeah, we were going after specific guilds and specific instances, but it seemed like we were attacking all of them because they had a lot coming in and going out.
Yeah, like
And
for
we were
example,
like, hey, no, you're not going to turn yours in to make money. We're going to turn yours in and make money.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, for example, we were trying to take our stuff out to the tropics and pirates attacked us. And and basically we were able to successfully defend off the pirates with our own guild and turned in our caravan. But later when they were trying to turn into New Ayla, we attacked them and we took their stuff and we turned it in ourselves.
Nice. You can make a lot of money when you use that the beacon.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, you haven't even been on since the start of phase. Don't even come at me.
Oh, no.
Don't even
Lyat.
come at me, Lyat. By the way, I don't know if you know this. Lyat just joined Nexus, so.
Yeah.
And since
So
he can't hear me, I'm going to type out that the comment is why you got the ad. Lyat.
Oh, come on. You can't give me an ad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Targeted advertisement.
All's fair in love and war. Neurotoxin says, gotta find the sneaky routes. Tropics have kumats too. Did anyone bother with the 60 wood, 60 stone carrot? No, I skipped
No,
that,
nobody
honestly.
cares about that.
I did that in phase 1 and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna make my caravan and just ignore that quest. Also, cheers to both
Hey,
Laya and
cheers indeed.
Sitsuma. Thank you.
Cheers to both of you.
Cheers,
Thank you so
cheers.
much. You're very kind. Satsuma, I'm sorry, you got caught in the crossfire. It was aimed at Lyat and you just happened to be nearby.
Well, stop
Apologies.
now.
Apologies, friend.
Oh my gosh. But no. I appreciate that quest. And here's what I'm going to tell you about that quest. I like, as a kind of like an events coordinator within our guild, I love to use that event to teach new people how to do caravans. So it's like, that way they're not feeling like they're like risking anything. I'm like, get a bunch of basalt, get a bunch of ashwood. It's everywhere. It's common. Nobody cares about that. Pay your 10 cents to get your caravan. We're going to teach you the basics of running the caravan. And then once that is done, I'm going to teach you how to get commodities for your caravan and how to upgrade it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like that.
I love how you called it 10 cents because it really does feel like that. It feels like a gold is a dollar.
Yeah.
Silver is like pennies, and then like copper is worthless.
Yeah. Copper's like, what's that
I don't
even?
know.
What's that
I don't
even?
I had to borrow money from somebody and like empty out some of my storage so I could repair my gear as a tank. I'm kind of feeling like the silvers are dollars. Myself.
They probably should be.
In tank currency, Vertek feels it harder. 1 gold feels like 100 because $100 because he can never make
to repair my
anything
gear.
beyond 2 gold.
87 silver to repair my gear, and it was
Yeah.
2 days worth of mild activity.
Yeah, even as a ranger, I've had like if I'm out grinding for God knows however long on these like 60-hour stream days, I'll come back to town and have like a 2 gold repair bill, and I'm just like, God, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and
bananas.
I'm used to just like hitting things from range and not taking any damage, and going back and I'll be like, oh, I don't need to repair at all. This is nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, like, I'll end up giving gold or something like that to our tank, who obviously is taking the brunt of that damage. So like that seems to be like a common thing in our guild.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of us.
If we have a tank, we'll end up chipping them in with like extra gold or something like that, so that they
Yeah.
can repair.
I've wanted to loan out my tanking to people trying to farm like Ceph and whatnot, and just say, hey, it's going to cost you I don't know what let's say 1 gold an hour for a tank. I'm going to sit outside the group so you get all the experience. Level 25 tank, I can handle most of this stuff. You could give me a level 10 cleric and I'll be fine.
Mhm.
But it's going to cost you 1 gold an hour. You guys can split it up how you wish. One person can pay, or all of you can pay.
Grab
True.
to the butt says tanks are just whiners. I was like, shots fired.
I
It's
mean,
because
we
have
are.
Jamie in our guild, so it makes
Wow. Jamie, are you gonna take that? I don't know if you're even gonna watch this later.
Don't
but
let him get away with it.
Rude.
We'll see
A
for Ceph
legendary
groups.
neurotoxin says copper is monopoly money.
sense.
Yeah, Chaffee, for
Yeah.
Ceph groups, it'd be 1 gold an hour. But if we're talking about Minotaurs, Minotaurs are 2 gold an hour.
Honestly, I remember towards the end of Castus, I think I popped on to like the server you guys were on, Lloyd,
Mhm.
for phase 1, and people were like literally buying clerics. I'm like, man, I should just come over here and sell my services as a cleric. I'd make
Bro,
heck
it's
of gold.
rough. It's rough out here.
It's heck. I'd make heck of gold. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna
True.
be rich when I get my cleric up to 20, because my lord, if I try to fight like a no star something on my tank of the same level as me, I can take maybe 2 at a time, and then I have to sit down and eat a snack before I can continue fighting. I pulled, no lie, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures my level as a cleric, and it was like no sweat. I did that for an hour
No
straight,
star?
Dude, clerics are busted.
pulling 11 of them at a time and just face tanking them
Also,
and
let's keep
destroying
in
them at the
mind,
same time.
I may or may not have given him better gear to start off with. So
Yeah, that
Well,
helps.
Well, no, that was
definitely helps.
after level 10. That was after the gear that you had.
I
We're
know,
off.
but that's still better gear than we had when we were leveling.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not able to perform that stunt that you were able to perform. I was able to get that gear after we hit level 10, which is better gear than what the merchant was giving you.
Well, I'll say I was an appropriately geared level 10, taking on level 10 to 12s.
Yep. I mean, we have
Crazy
a cleric
pockets.
in our guild that is he's got some crazy solo farm areas by himself where he's just out. He's like AFK, but just healing himself with like soothing glow that's permanently up. He's got like
Yep.
all of his other ones for the oh shit buttons, his flash gears, and his
Soothing
deliverance if he
glow.
absolutely needs it. Judgment, divine flare, all just healing him, and he's just like whatever,
Yep.
whatever, just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yep. I mean, judgment kind of sucks because it's going to target your angry target instead of you to heal.
If you
Yeah,
have the
but,
dual target up specifically, yeah. What do you think of the fire elementals at Highway? Oh my god, we hate fire
Too
elementals
much.
everywhere. We
Anything
don't
with
like the
fire is
Yeah.
terrible. Anything with fire in the
Highwayman
name.
Hills, get out of here. Pyro starters in like Citadel, get out of here. Like we don't like them.
I had some guy ask me if I could beat this fire elemental for him. He was like level 10. I was like, I'll do it for gold.
Nice.
Like, I'll kill your fire
Dude.
elemental for gold. He's like, I don't have that. I was like, well, guess you're stuck fighting the fire
That's
elemental. I don't know,
Good
man.
luck.
Crazy, Sutsuma. I don't even understand. Sutsuma says we have a cleric that solo farmed Oaken Vein from 8 to 21 in a day.
That's
Yeah.
bananas.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
absolutely bananas.
Meanwhile,
Like-
I'm over here like I hit like a wet noodle. I'm useless. Like
You
that's
just
what I
you
think.
hit like a wet noodle, but you're just staying alive the entire time. You can just
Yeah.
out tank mobs. So
Yeah. Mobs.
like-
Now PvP, whole other scenario. Get me surrounded by a bunch of people that can CC me. I'm dead in 2 seconds.
oh yeah,
Right.
probably.
Or anything dealing with fire in the name.
Yeah, that too.
Have you
Because all of
guys
those are
done-
deadly.
Have you guys done a ton of PvP on Lyneth, or are you just kind of like meh?
Wait,
So
what?
PvP on Lyneth? Yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty. Yeah, there's plenty.
Have you guys in specific
Yeah.
participated in a lot, or
It's not my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. We've been through well, we missed a node war. We missed that one yesterday.
I missed what he really means is I'm a citizen of Miraleth and he's a citizen of Halcyon, and Feds, who happen to be the mayor
Yeah.
of Winstead, war decked Nuela. So we were both just not citizens, and I was just like,
Which is
okay, I can't really do anything, so I'm just an
Nuela is
adult.
the home node for Nexus, but
Yeah.
I was trying to push cooking, and sorry, Halcyon's where the cooking was. Granted, they
Yeah.
stopped at Apprentice. They didn't move on to Journeyman, rather.
Yeah.
They went hunting because they're all about the animals.
Right.
But
Yeah.
still, I mean, to get the spare like storage slot at the cook place, like I had to.
was that like the most exciting thing that's happened on your server? Or is like like what's the most exciting thing that's happened on your server?
Depends on your point of view, really. We've
Yeah.
had guild combat over some of the world bosses, like the Cyclops, the dragon. I don't recall anybody fighting over the Scorpion though.
Well, the
Well, again,
Scorpion's
we
level
fought over
50.
I'm legit
It's level
gonna
50.
tell
There's
you,
no way
I
possible.
didn't even know there was a Scorpion boss.
Yeah, I saw Steven piss it off, but I've never been in a group that tried it. I haven't even been near it, so I didn't even know it was level 50.
It's literally
to be
like sitting in
honest.
the middle of the Lawless desert, like towards the
Yeah.
south, north of
It's the
north
one-
of Asmoran.
It's the one
Had
day,
no
ironically, and this is why, everybody, pay attention. Pay attention. They showed that Scorpion in like 2020, I think, in
Mhm.
an ad video. And they just now recently dropped it in the game. They have so much more under the hood than anybody knows. I guarantee you. It's just not in the alphas or in the content we're testing. Like they have
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot
sure there's
done.
a ton of
Ready for us
assets
to
that they're just
test.
like chilling on. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there is the ocean world boss that they're pretty sure. Like I'm pretty sure that asset's pretty much done. They have a lot of the animations. They just don't have a place to put
Yeah.
it right now. Like that's something
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about.
That too,
Yeah.
and I think that there's still like a lot of stuff that they are still trying to implement. But I mean, there's been like our own drama things, like Fed and pirates fighting each other,
Mhm.
and Fed then war decking, like guild decking on pirates with like the lumber thing, while pirates are all like offline. So then they just kind of win, and it's like, okay, congrats for winning when the other people are not even there.
And there's no rewards or anything like that anymore because that was being exploited.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, like we are way more relaxed. Although I will say probably the most dramatic thing on our server is probably Fed. I will be honest. I think given some of the conversations we had within YouTube and Twitch, like pirates have been very respectful and like honorable in a lot of their fights. I still don't understand the whole
Until the
let's-
tropics nodes are implemented, then
Oh,
everything might change.
Absolutely. But, Thor has said if you see anybody, like pulling mobs onto other groups just to wipe them and being overall just crappy
Dicks.
people, let him know and with video proof, and it will be handled, And so I'm like, if I have to choose between Thor's Zerg and other people's probably more toxic Zergs, I will take PirateSoftware pretty much any day. That being said, like to his point, he's like, you can counter a Zerg with well thought out groups, and that's exactly what we expected or what we were a part of. There's a focused group of us in a VC together fighting in the tropics over our caravan, and we were able to amass enough of ourselves in a VC together to counter the pirates attacking us, and still managed to turn it in.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
So
yeah, I mean,
it's one of those.
we've had our relatively fair share of drama.
Yeah.
We just haven't had as much as severe and as heightened a reaction as many people I've seen and heard from Vyra.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I'd say
we've had
we have a lot of the big personalities.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
So
we've had some like standoffs at spawns of creatures or other materials. We've had standoffs at world bosses, of course. I mean, those, when somebody knows that it's up, it's you got to get it or else you're going to get got yourself.
yeah.
Caravans are crazy because we have so many guilds that are running like 20 caravan trains. And those 20 caravan trains just turn into a perpetual battle for the next 2 hours.
Whoa,
Holy
fuck?
macaroni. Yes, what the heck was that? 20 subs. Lord Zod.
Hey.
Thank you so very much. Cheers to you. You get the last of my drink for cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my god. Hi.
Thank you so very much, and hello.
I apologize. I did not know how to react to that.
Wow, yeah. So that's one of the
I
few
think
times you're going to hear a chibi just
acceptable.
drop a curse bomb.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. It's definitely that came out of nowhere. So words are escaping. So just thank you so much.
Now I'm just embarrassed just because I don't really curse that much.
But welcome in.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you. Seriously. Cheers. I'm gonna drink my
What
chalice of blood for that.
what was our goal for 75 anyway? What did we promise for that?
We didn't have any new goal set up, but I think next month, I believe there's 5 weeks in the month, so we should definitely do like a 1, 2,
Is there
3,
no
4.
next month? Not next month.
No, is it the month after? It's the month after in March. You know what? This is thank you.
Pocket.
My thoughts exactly. I think that, we should, that gives me motivation to put together maybe another big panel.
Mm-hmm.
You think maybe in February?
Well, see, that's the fun thing that we were talking about before the whole hurricane stuff happened and we got wiped out for 3 months. Is we were talking about doing like, what do you guys think on like the 2nd or 3rd Tuesday of the month being a community night where we do the wheel spins and then maybe like play a community game or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our normal
Sounds like
tavern
fun to me.
talks. We're chilling with people in Discord, but like 2nd or 3rd, what do you
Yeah.
guys think? 2nd or 3rd week? Because 4th, we don't want to do just in case there's a live stream from Intrepid, right? And the 1st, we don't want to do just in case it's the first time that we have a Tuesday after the live stream. But if we
Yeah.
can set it definitely the 2nd or 3rd, yeah, that'd be all right. I think that'd be all right.
But what if Steven extends servers on Tuesdays?
I
Well,
mean,
Probably not till
true.
phase 3, right?
Probably not till phase 3 because they put out their whole list of when they're gonna have the servers down. But on top of that, Vertec and I wanted to to include those of you that can't even test right now, to give us your thoughts on what you want to see us test. Like literally, I thought it'd be really fun. I think Pockets, you mentioned something like this, but I've been thinking about this in general, having things like using a specific weapon. So like us, that would have us like kind of taking stock of the different weapon types and literally just testing through will spins where it's like a community challenge of we must use only melee or we must use only ranged or
I
After
swear
every
to
10
Bob,
subs,
if
you
somebody
must go
makes
corrupt.
me as a
God, I don't
tank,
know
use
about
only
the
bow.
corrupt one. I mean, I feel like y'all would just keep making me look worse and worse.
But yeah, Phase, what was it? Phase Twister, I think it was, and Ed, like both of you guys, like that's something to keep in mind. Like we
Yeah.
are going to be using some of our time that we're streaming when the game is up, obviously. Right now it's not up.
Yeah.
But when it's up to play and test, we're going to be there for you folks. So if you want to see something specific, ask us to go there. Ask us to test a certain thing you want to see tested. You want me to start a new character as a mage just to see what the mage starting experience is like? I'll do it. It's fine.
Yep.
Fine, just ask us what you
Literally
want to see.
last week, I made a mage named Lady Fluffy Butt because chat wanted me to.
That was the name presented by chat, and therefore that is now her name, Queen Fluffy Butt.
But seriously, Satsumas is not gonna lie. I need my server down times. I don't sleep much when the servers are up. Seriously, that is the biggest complaint my guildies had when they didn't bring it down on the 6th, I think. They're like, we're just gonna keep it up, you know? And we're just like, but I wanted to go touch grass, Intrepid. I wanted to go touch grass.
I mean, I'm just saying,
now
they
I have to
sell
stay
you
up another 24 hours because of you. This is all
you can
your
go to the store. You can go to the pet store, right? Like PetSmart, and you can buy the cat grass and you can put it on your desk right next to your mouse. So when you stop somewhere in town and you're just kind of like typing in chat, you can reach over and touch grass at any time.
I'm invisible.
Hey, Quinn. 500 bits. Thank you so much. I'm going to... Nope, that cup is empty. I'm gonna cheers you with this, which is my water.
Yes, you did.
Cheers.
Princess Fluffy Butt was not allowed, apparently, so it became Lady Fluffy Butt.
Mm-hmm.
I had to honor the spirit of the name.
There was another Fluffy Butt on the server.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you have to have a name between 3 and 15, and I counted. I was like, this is within that. But I guess that's what that means, is there's like a Princess Fluffy Butt. But it was strategy. An honor for what? Who? What?
Satsuma says, no joke. I would use the 2 a.m. restarts to log off at 2 Mach, take a shower, and do laundry while servers restarted.
Seriously,
same.
I feel that I'm on the wrong server. There's that Queen Butt Stallion, you know, from Borderlands. So we were trying to do Princess Fluffy Butt as a name.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had to try and, like, in the same spirit, Lady Fluffy Butt became my mage that we made. But we literally did that, I think, last Monday we were testing, because we were talking about the fact that you can, if you're not a citizen, at least if you're level 10, you can put up things on any marketplace anywhere. You don't have to be a citizen anywhere to do it, but you have to, as we found out, at least be level 10.
You have to be level 10.
Yep.
So that's part of the reason why we made Lady Fluffy Butt, is we got her and made her over to, like, where did we go? Miraleth? Winstead?
I think it was Winstead or Halcyon or something. One of those.
One of those. But like, we ran all the way over somewhere just to test out if I could put anything in the marketplace below level 10. So, I mean, that tells you right now, if you're at least level 10 and you don't want to go out and level, but you want to do crafting, if you're good at doing marketing stuff, or like market stuff, buy cheap, sell higher, make money, make crafts, sell the crafts. There you go. You never have to leave the node if you're crafting.
Step 5, profit. Yeah, Tomac, see, all you need to do is you need to be on here in chat and spend some points to suggest go do something or go test something.
I love that.
And you'll shoot out a go test this. And it will be go make a new character, and you get to choose the class and tell me the name.
Honestly, I found folks to watch for most of the archetypes and weapons I cared about. My most interest is during phase 3 for secondary same. Yeah. Secondary archetypes. Cannot wait. Since I have my
That's going to be like a year from now.
It is legendary neurotoxin. It is Queen Butt Stallion. True. I have a Queen Butt Stallion. She's in my room.
Roots in a game with 45 classes. See, I didn't play that game. Somebody mentioned it. Was that Arcage that did that, like 3 class combination thing?
Yeah, that was Arcage.
Okay.
They had like 266 different combinations or something like that.
I can't even.
That's bananas.
I can't even. At what point do they become not even worth going for with 266 class combinations? Like, there's definitely
There's got to be some like
that are
dog ones, right?
yeah,
that are
not
just
even
awful.
worth going for.
Like they
There was,
just
like, 6
exist
that were
because there
good.
had to be one.
Wow, wait, out of 266, there were like 6 that were. That's depressing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest.
I am a rogue main. I will do all of the rogue archetypes.
I'm so
Even if I have
basic.
to play
I'm
on
going
2
rogue,
servers.
then rogue. I did not care for it in AA, but I did play late and not too long. Fair. There's a lot of people waiting for rogue to come out. Honestly, there's somebody in our guild who's in our guild, but he is waiting to buy access to phase 2 until rogue comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So definitely
So
already
end of
like,
February,
access.
apparently.
Yeah.
So
Fingers
soon TM.
crossed. Soon TM.
Subtlety rogue. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, my dog has something to say about it all.
Yeah, apparently
but
she's the subtlety rogue here. She's all about that toxic PvP life too.
Before we end talking about PvP life, I heard that you were trying to put together a little bit of a PvP tournament on Vyra.
What?
It's a polar tournament. It's a polar PvP tournament. I'm just gonna be casting it with Crix. So if you know who Crix is, he's a pretty avid MMO player. He does a lot of like the PvP tournaments and stuff like that. Him and Vladis had that 1v1 tournament that happened in phase 1.
Yeah,
and
I remember
so I like it. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with doing it. It's an 8v8 tournament. They must be level 25. No consumables. That's the word. And basically there's no requirements on like gear, so I guess people are coming in with enchants and stuff, so they've been prepping. Team registration ends on Wednesday, I believe.
Okay.
So if you are on Vyra, you're level 25 and you want to join, go ahead, join the Discord. There is a LFG thing, so if you're a solo player wanting to join a team, you can do that that way as well. We're aiming for 16 teams, but I think right now we're around 10 teams, so there's plenty of room.
Do you have a set amount per team? Is it like teams of 8? Teams of
8v8 is the tournament. So it's going to be the first team tournament on Vyra, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. I feel it. And for those of you that have been listening to Lloyd's voice, please feel free to go check out Lloyd. And Lloyd, what do you have coming up in terms of content?
Oh boy, in terms of content, I think I'm just going to keep on going with I want to try to do as much shoutcasting as possible. I want to do like more PvP breakdowns. I have some people that
define that term.
Shoutcasting is kind of like taking PvP battles and being able to cast over it, kind of like an ESPN guy commentating on a sports game.
Oh, okay.
That's what shoutcasting is. So
I've only heard people call it like commentary. Commentating.
Yeah, there's color commentary, there's play-by-play, other things. But yeah, I have some people in my guild asking for like ranger guides, so if I have time, I'll try to make some archetype guides as well. So that's what's on my to-do list.
And if those sound cool to you, go check them out. And also, if you are on Vyra or if you're on Lyneth and you want to support a Vyra content creator, there's Lloyd. Lloyd has been pretty chill. We've had him on our podcast at least once. And I believe you also been on our guild summit or RP summit. You're on our RP summit.
Correct.
At least.
The RP PvPer.
RP PvPer. Yep. He's the one that's gonna kill you and then be like stabs you slowly while looking you in the eyes as a rogue.
the very cringe voice lines.
Very Merry Christmas to you.
Oh my gosh.
Fedora.
Oh my gosh. But yes. If that is your what's Lloyd's name in game? Why? So you can hunt him down?
It's Lloyd. Weirdly enough.
Goal.
Yep, yeah, that translates roughly into he's the guy that says goal.
Meanwhile, people have totally said that I did great at like PvP when I was just bunny hopping and hoping to survive. Like, don't kill me, don't kill
Just
me,
doing
don't
her
kill me,
best to
don't
not
kill me.
die.
That KDA.
Yep.
Oh, hey, and actually, Laya had that point perfect. Sorry to backtrack, but you actually broke it down pretty well for phase. With the are the multiple archetypes creating one class going to be actually impactful or just flavor? And Laya says, Mage has blink. Mage might have an upgrade that gives him a blink that causes Frost Nova. Mage tank might have a blink that causes a taunt. Mage cleric might have a blink that does an AoE heal.
That'd be cool. I can't wait to test it. And honestly, for myself, I think I'm going to be doing a lot of breakdowns between cleric and bard because that's the two classes that I'm most interested in. And Vertec, you are primarily tank, but are there any other things that you want to like digest?
I want to try the bard tank. I want to try tank bard just because I think bard is really cool with the concept. I really think they need a nerf.
Hi, Chago. Yeah.
Hint, everybody in the world. But I like them still, even if they got nerfed. I still like their theme and their feel. But I think they need a nerf. Hint. But yeah, also, I thought tank mage might be neat. That might be a really cool kind of like cross between them. Or a mage tank, depending on how many mage features they can rob into their own skills. Because basically what was being explained there by Lyat was that the primary archetype is going to have all of the skills. All the skills are gathered by the primary archetype, whether that be cleric, tank, mage, etc. Whatever skills you get in that archetype, that's what you have. But they're modified by four schools from the secondary archetype. So, for instance, just because this is pure speculation, for tank, it might be something like mitigation, threat, I don't know, crowd control, and health. I don't know. Health. Let's just say constitution. So, like, if you had something like the reference from Lyat, there might be a blink that has threat at the end of it. So you could blink in, grab threat, and run out. Or run in, and when you blink out, you taunt first, and then your blink engages. Something like that might be cool for like a mage tank, right? Like you grab threat and then run away from the group, or run to the group for that matter. Like you're a puller class at that point. So combinations like that, or you could be a mage tank that has mitigation as your school.
Yes, there's so
influence.
many things to test out.
So you could blink in and get extra health. Like, how cool would that be? Like you jump in,
some of it,
get extra health, drop your little frost. What was it, the Hoar Frost that freezes everybody? Drop your lightning and then run away.
Yeah.
And some of it might just be flavorful, where like take the tank grapple, for example, becomes like a telekinetic pull. So instead of it being like a chain, you just pull them towards you, and like you can thematically change your character that way. Like maybe the visuals change as well. So some of it, I would imagine there's like an extra effect when you have your secondary archetype, but that could be a possible option.
Yeah. But all that will be up to debate phase 3 and beyond. In the meantime, please join us in rating Dusty UI. And I just really want to say thank you once more again to Lord Zog for your amazing contribution to helping us get to our goal. Once for a second, I can check out better, a better definition of what that goal reward will be. I will definitely announce it probably next Monday or Tuesday. But also thank you so much to Penumbra over on YouTube for the super chat. That was super sweet of you as well.
Yes.
Cheers, everyone. Woo! Thanks for the great conversation, and I can't wait to see you guys on Saturday. Vertec, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, on the way out, as always, I'd like to remind you folks that we would not be here without you. You are the stars of the show, no matter what. Your conversations, your questions, your input, your everything is so incredibly valued. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. You could have spent it anywhere, because it's the one commodity that cannot be refunded. You do not get extra. You're allotted what you get, and that's that. You spent it here, and we appreciate that. So,
and of course, please check out Lloyd and his PvP Discord if that sounds
Mhm.
cool. For those of you watching us on Replay Crew over on YouTube, that will be in the description. So please go check that out there. And as always, have a great night, and we'll see you in Vyra again very soon.
Absolutely. Have a very good night. Catch you later.
You guys.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.